morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday. I know my videos always start on Tuesday because on Monday we have to drive all the way into town to Walmart to upload these videos. We just can't seem to get any decent internet out here to where we can upload. But today we're going to work on the mill. We're going to try to get some of these logs milled up. We're going to hope that we don't get wavy cuts again. Well, it's the first time for everything. Out of all the logs that we have put through this mill, we have finally hit a nail in one. So we're gonna have to dig that out somehow and hope it's the only one. We don't have a metal detector. No teeth left on that blade. It actually bent the teeth upwards. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. Bent the teeth upwards. Well, I think this is the end of Tuesday because we got that screw out. We changed the blade to our last blade. We do not have any more blades. And I was making the very next cut and I hit some more metal in this log. We don't know what it is. We can't see anything yet. Ocean's gonna cut it off, cut the slab off. So he's gonna cut that off where the mill hit the metal and see if we could find what it is, but it doesn't really matter. It ruined the last blade that we had. And this is really frustrating because, like I've been saying, we have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for the blades to come from Wood Miser, and we're right in the middle of cutting lumber for this barn. So I think I'm just gonna go back to bed and see what happens tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday. And it's a new day. I spent a couple hours on the phone with Woodland Mills last night trying to troubleshoot why we're getting such wavy boards when we've put on new blades and done everything that we could think of to do. Words are hard sometimes. We re-leveled the mill. It wasn't that far out. There's a little bit of discrepancy here and there, but it was pretty good. But we fixed that. We had tried a brand new blade and then we cut through those screws, so you know that happened. But anyway, so after talking to Woodland Mills, there was a couple of things that they told us to check, which we did. A couple of things we need to do. One of the things that we discussed that we are working on today is the rails that the mill rides on needs to be the same distance apart all the way down within, I think he said, 1/8 of an inch. No more than 1/8 of an inch. It might have been a 1/16, but I'm pretty sure he said 1/8. But anyway, so we've loosened up all the bolts on one side, and so today we're going to go down through and make sure that it's the same distance all the way down. And the reason that matters is because on the wheels, if the rails are not the same distance, the wheel can like ride up and then like fall back down in, and it's kind of a weird thing, kind of hard to explain. But so that is what we're going to do there. And Then as far as the head goes, we did put in the new bushings, so that shouldn't have, you know, that should have made things better. If the blades are tracking perfectly, they're not riding forward, they're not moving backwards, so that was all good. Now we do need to change this guide block here because the blade is up against this top guide block. But the one thing that we're going to do that we have to wait on is they're going to send us some new belts. Now this belt here, there's kind of a bubble right here where it's sticking away from the wheel. Like all up in here, it's up against it, and then it comes away from the wheel here, and then it's up against it again. And this is a brand new belt that we just put on, but he said that there should be an 1/8 inch. You should be able to see an 1/8 of an inch of the belt off the wheel. And there's only about a 32nd there, if that. So they're gonna send us some new belts, but it's gonna be probably 2 weeks before we get them. We also pulled apart the tensioning mechanism in this to make sure that all the washers in there were in good condition, they were in the right direction, because per somebody's comment on the last video, we tensioned the blade with a torque wrench, and what we found when we first put the torque wrench on there is that it only had about 20 foot-pounds. I mean 12 foot-pounds. It's supposed to have 20 to 25, and it only had about 12. So we did tighten it all the way up to 25 and make another cut, but it was still wavy. So we will use a torque wrench from now on when we tighten the blades. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the mill. It's basically just going to be a lot of waiting. So we're going to get the rails done today, and then just put this and the barn, cutting lumber for the barn, on hold. We still have a few things we can do on the barn from some lumber that we did cut, so that's planned today. We're going to fix this, and then we're going to go put some lumber up on the barn. Okay, so we've already done a couple of these, but the distance from the outside of that rail to the outside of this rail is supposed to be 26, or right around 26, with no more than an 1/8 inch difference between any of the measurements. And so far up to this point in the mill, we're at 26 1/8. So as long as we keep everything at 26 1/8, we should be good. So we've got to go down through and measure all of these and then tighten up all the bolts. You've already moved it too much.
Too much?
Yeah, it needs to come out just a hair. It probably moves as soon as you get that nail out. Right there. Perfect.
So I don't want that.
Here, hold this. All right, we got the rail all fixed. There's a couple of spots where it might be off by a 32nd, but we pretty much got it right on 26 1/16 all the way down. We're gonna have a cold drink, and then we'll see what we can do to the barn.
Hurts.
I'll have to watch the video back. I didn't see it. Hi, boys. What are we doing? Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Thursday. I've been busy this morning staking up tomato plants, picking some peas, getting those blanched and in the freezer. And we don't have a whole lot going on today. I wanted to show you a little bit of what we got done yesterday on the barn. And that's all we're gonna get done on the barn for now. We're waiting on the parts for the sawmill, as I said yesterday. So here's what we have on the barn. We did cut out the 2x4s that were going across here. So this is our doorway and our hallway right here, which will go into each pen. We have the 2x4s around each pen now. And the way we're going to do this, in each pen, we're gonna have wooden walls just from the ground to this 2x4 here. The top is gonna have some plastic fencing on it to allow for airflow. But I want wood on the bottom so they can't see each other. Plus it'll give me somewhere to nail my nest boxes too. So we've got one pen there, 2 pens, 3 pens, and we didn't finish these 2 pens because we're out of lumber. So we still need to put up 2x6s up here for the floor. We need to stand that 4x4 up, but we can't do that until we have those joists, because that's going to help line it up in line with the other 2 4x4s. So it's coming along. We found some. Now this is going to be like an old time barn, you know, where you're walking upstairs and all the dirt's falling through. I'm not gonna, you know, make some perfect lumber all straight and neat and all that for upstairs, because it's just storage for extra feeders, waterers, stuff like that. So we found some of our scrap planks that were about 1 inch thick. I'm not even going to worry about whether or not they're all the same, as long as they're close. And we did start putting them up on the floor up here so that we can walk on it. We need to fill in this gap here, but the 4x4s were in the way and I wasn't in the mood to cut around them at the time. So we did start putting planks upstairs, and that way we can walk on it up there. We need to be able to cut off all those 4x4s to length and work on the roof once the rest of it is done. I'm not worried about the roof yet. I want to get the bottom done where the birds are actually going to go, so that we can get some in here. And once the bottom is all done, then we'll worry about the roof. So yeah, that's what we got done. I think it's looking good. Eddie and Ocean are putting 2x4s up around the top of my shop, because for some reason we forgot to do that, and we need them up there to screw the metal to. So unfortunately, we're doing this after we put the house wrap on, but we have a 2x6 going across here and down here, but for some reason we didn't put it across the top. So we're doing that now, and that's where the metal will screw to, so that it's nice and flat. Well, that was a quick and easy job. They got the 2x4s put up around the top of the shop, all but 2 of them. We ran out of 2x4s for that. Again, waiting on the mill. So the other thing we're going to do today is we're going to build a fence here at the end of the garden. We have these wooden posts set in the ground, and we're going to come off of those, and we're just going to build a little pen here, because we're hoping to have an addition to the homestead. These go about right there.
Great.
Wouldn't it be funny if that spot was softer?
It is, actually.
Dug there first. All right, get out of there. Now it's way down below the other one. but it won't go anywhere. Well, they got the fence all put up. We still need to get some fence stays. Other than that, putting the gate up, it's all done. Guys, it's 3:30 in the morning and we're in the ER, and you're never gonna guess why.
Yep, we've been in here for 3 hours now. She's pumped full of pain medicine. Antibiotics.
Good morning. Not really. It's 7:20. We just got back from the emergency room. We went in about 2:30 this morning, and like I said, it's almost 7:30 now. So yeah, so when I was doing my chores last night, Ruby was all riled up. Ruby, my rooster, he was all riled up, kind of squawking back and forth with the other roosters out there, and I walked up to him and he attacked my leg, and he poked a hole in my leg with his spurs, which can cause infection because their spurs are really dirty. Well, when he first did it, I didn't really feel it, and then as time went on, like not much time, it started hurting more and more, and then I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and it was just severe pain going up my leg. So went to the ER. They gave me some pain medication, some muscle relaxers, all kinds of stuff. They gave me like 7 different things and put me on, they gave me an IV antibiotic and gave me 2 different types of antibiotics that I need to take now for the next 10 days because of all the different bacterias that the chickens carry. So that's what happened, and now I'm going to go to bed because I've had 2 hours of sleep so far, and I've got so many different medications in my system that I'm just very sleepy. So this will be the end of this week's video. It's also raining outside, so we weren't going to get anything done today anyway. But I'm going to go to bed, get some sleep, and I appreciate everybody being with us, and we'll see you next week.